Hi, my name's Daisy. I'm 40. At 3 in the morning, I was lying on the living room floor. My leg bent the wrong way. Blood dripped from my mouth, begging my own mother to stop him. She didn't. She just watched. Dexter's voice echoed off the walls, rage burning the air. My ribs screamed every time I tried to breathe. I looked at her, Vera, the woman who raised me, and whispered, "Mom, please." Nothing, not even a flinch. When his boots slammed into my side, I thought the pain would kill me. But it wasn't the blow that broke me. It was her silence. I once believed she would protect me. The same woman who brushed the tangles from my hair. The woman who once panicked at a bee on my shoulder. But this time, she didn't move. When Dexter finally stopped, sweat dripping, he walked right past her. Didn't even look her in the eye. I thought she might help me then. Her shadow fell over me. She bent just close enough to whisper, "You should have just signed the loan, Daisy." Then she walked away. That night wasn't the beginning. It was the breaking point. But if you think the story starts with broken bones, you don't know how far a mother can go to erase her own daughter. I used to think bruises were the proof, but the damage started long before the blood. When I was 16, I applied for a full scholarship. It was one of the first times I felt hope, like maybe I had a way out. I needed my birth certificate to finish the forms. Vera handed it to me without looking up from her coffee. That's when I saw it. Father Dexter K. Maddox. My real father, James Harrison, had died in a car accident when I was 5. I remembered the cedar smell of his coat, the way he let me push elevator buttons. He wasn't Dexter. But Vera erased him with one typed name. I sent in the application anyway. Weeks passed, no response. Then my counselor asked why I hadn't accepted. The scholarship had been awarded. The letter sent. When I got home, I tore through the house. I found it in Vera's sewing desk, still sealed. "Why would you hide this?" I asked, shaking. She folded laundry, eyes flat. "You couldn't handle college. I saved you from disappointment." Saved me. By caging me. Birthdays weren't better. The last cake I ever made for myself, crooked chocolate box mix with dollar store candles, I left on the counter. That night, Vera had guests. She scraped off my name and added gel icing. "Congrats, Nico." They clapped, took pictures. I stood by the fridge, invisible on my own birthday. By then, I had learned the rules. Good daughters stay quiet. Good daughters don't cause scenes. Good daughters disappear when their mother wants the spotlight on someone else. So I shrank. Until one day I realized silence wasn't protecting me. It was erasing me. And when I started piecing the truth back together, I discovered erasure wasn't her mistake. It was her strategy. The hospital released me with a cast and a warning to rest. But rest wasn't an option. I sat at my kitchen table with a notebook. Not a diary. A dossier. I listed everything. The altered birth certificate. The hidden scholarship letter. The birthdays that weren't mine. Every phrase Vera used to cut me down. On one page I wrote, "She doesn't lose control. She is the control." Then came the envelope. Certified mail. No return address. Inside was a mortgage contract. Signature line highlighted in yellow. A sticky note. "Just need your signature." I burned it in the sink. Watched it curl into ash. Minutes later, a text buzzed in. "Stop being so difficult, Daisy. We just need support." No name. But I didn't need one. That night, I checked my bedroom door. The lock scratched. Something off. I searched under the dresser and froze. A pinhole camera, blinking green, pointed at my bed. I ripped it out and dropped it into a glass of water. Then I called Vera. "Was that supposed to scare me?" She sighed. "A good daughter doesn't keep secrets, especially not in my house." My voice was steady. "I'm not your house, and I'm not yours." The next day, my phone lit up. "Daisy, it's Juno. Can we talk?" Juno, my best friend before Vera cut her off. I typed back, "Yes, it's time." That afternoon, another knock. Not Juno. Ms. Thomason, my old English teacher. She sat at my table, eyes on the papers spread out. "I remember you, Daisy," she said softly. "Not just as a student. As someone I should have fought harder for." She admitted Vera had emailed the school years ago, claimed I was unstable, unfit for leadership roles, said it was to protect me. And they believed her. I didn't cry. I just wrote it down. Another entry in the file. Because this wasn't paranoia, it was strategy. And then came the box. The one that proved Vera hadn't just rewritten my story. She intercepted the chapters. The box arrived on a rainy afternoon. Plain cardboard. Corners taped. Nothing special, except my name on the label. Juno handed it to me. "A friend of your father kept this," she said. "He thought you should have it." My chest tightened. I opened it slowly. Inside was a cracked flip phone, battery swollen, long dead. Beneath it, a folded stack of papers, printed text messages, timestamps years old. I read the first line. Your mother doesn't want me involved, but I'm trying. I miss you every day. My hands shook. Message after message. Are you okay? I left something for you at the bank. Happy 18th. You're still my girl. Dozens of them. All from James Harrison, my real father. I felt the room tilt. For years, I thought he abandoned me. That he just vanished. That he didn't want me. But he had been reaching for me the whole time. And Vera intercepted it all. She hadn't just rewritten my story. She had stolen my chapters. By the time I reached the last message, dated months before his death, my vision blurred. I never stopped loving you. I stumbled outside, clutching the papers. The sky was gray, the wind sharp. I sat on a park bench and cried. Not quiet tears, but the kind that shakes your whole body. She took everything. But as the sobs eased, something else settled in. She didn't own what was left. My voice. My truth. My proof. That night, I spread the evidence across my table. Birth certificate. Scholarship letter. The altered records. Now the text from my father. I made a new folder. Label, legal drafts. Malcolm, Juno's contact, was a lawyer. I sent him scans of everything. He replied within the hour. This is more than a case. This is a pattern. For the first time, I felt the shift. Not fear. Readiness. I wasn't the erased daughter anymore. I was the plaintiff. And Vera was about to face me in a courtroom. But if you think exposing her secrets on paper was enough, wait until you see what happened when I looked her in the eye. The courthouse smelled like old coffee and pine cleaner. Ordinary to everyone else. A battlefield to me. Malcolm walked beside me, binder in hand. Juno squeezed my shoulder before I stepped inside. At the desk, the clerk asked, Plaintiff? Yes, I said steady. Plaintiff Daisy Marin. Inside, Vera sat in pastel pink, hair perfect. Dexter beside her, arms folded. One empty chair. Nico's. When my name was called, I stood, swore an oath, took the stand. I told them everything. The altered birth certificate. The scholarship letter hidden. The birthdays erased. The camera blinking in my room. The night I begged my mother while she stood still. I wasn't ignored, I said, staring at her. I was erased. Silence pressed in. Then her attorney rose. Ms. Marin, would you describe yourself as emotional? I'm human, I said. Of course. But haven't you exaggerated before? Malcolm started to object, but I stopped him. If I'm so emotional, why are you holding a binder full of proof? A ripple moved through the courtroom. Malcolm flipped to a marked page. He lifted a silver necklace, star-shaped charm. Your mother gave you this? Yes, I said. She called it her love. Then he placed 2 documents before the judge. A receipt and a letter from James Harrison. I found the perfect gift for Daisy. Please give it to her. Tell her it's from Dad. Vera's face cracked. For a moment, rage, then defeat. The judge spoke at last. This court finds the claim substantiated. Mr. Dexter Maddox will be subject to a 5-year restraining order. Ms. Vera Maddox is held liable for damages and restitution. This court recognizes a pattern of long-term manipulation. The gavel struck. It was done. Juno grabbed my hand. Malcolm whispered, You did it. But as I walked out with the binder in my arms, I knew something else. A verdict doesn't end a story. Sometimes it's only where the real one begins. Freedom doesn't arrive with a gavel. It comes slowly, quietly. Dexter's business contracts crumbled. Vera lost her job. In a town like ours, truth spreads faster than denial. One evening, Nico sent me a message. I didn't know. I'm sorry. I believe you. I stared at the screen a long time. Then typed back. That matters. Months passed. And for the first time in years, silence in my apartment didn't feel heavy. It felt safe. At the community center, I set up folding chairs in a circle. 12 women came. Different ages. Different stories. On the wall, a banner read, Family isn't always blood. My name is Daisy, I told them. I used to think survival meant silence. But silence doesn't heal. It hides. And what hides too long rots. No applause. Just nods. And then stories poured out. One woman whispered, I divorced my mother. Another said, They called me dramatic for telling the truth. I listened. And for once, I wasn't the only erased daughter in the room. Afterward, a girl lingered by the door. 16, maybe 17, eyes low, sleeves pulled over her hands. I still live with her, she whispered. That was all. I unclasped the necklace I wore, my father's gift. Placed it in her palm. Keep it until you're ready to let go, I said. She didn't cry. She just nodded. And I knew she understood. That night, I wrote in my journal. Mom never hit me, she deleted me. Then I added, but I redrew the outline. I folded the page into a paper crane. Released it into the wind. I watched it flutter toward the pond. No grand ending. Just breath. Just peace. Just life. And now I know. You don't need an apology to move forward. You only need proof you survived. If you've ever been made to feel invisible by your own family, share your story in the comments. And if this journey moved you, subscribe for more stories that speak the unspoken.